Hey folks, one word, inflation. So, the tire toast, tube's toast, there's a big hole in it, the tube's kind of shot, and this one's pretty worn out. It's probably okay. But I'm expecting to change. I don't really remember if I've seen any cords showing on this side or not. At the tire, instead of being straight across, it's kind of worn on an angle like this because of the tire being on its side. So when I change everything, I'm gonna change both those tubes. Well, I only have two, so I have to have spares because the Monster gets flat tires quite often. So while I was out today, I stopped at Home Hardware to get me a couple tubes. Now, if I get the tubes from the dealer, because these tires are wide, they're wide angle. They're low profile tires. They're really wide. And when you buy inner tubes, they're always round, right? So I can get tubes specifically for the Monster, and they're oval shaped, right? They're kind of wider than they are tall, I guess you can say. They're like $50. So I started getting mine at FS. I guess they were like $12, and well, we don't have FS here, so I have to get it from Home Hardware, and they've been like $12, $13. Last time I got them, they were $14. So I grabbed a couple today, and they are now $21.99. That's a 50% increase since the last time I bought them. So I bought two tubes today. It cost me $49 something, so almost $50. So that's like $25 each. So I guess I gotta watch where I drive to make sure I don't get any flat tires. Oh my goodness. So I haven't put my parts list together for the dealer yet. I gotta do that soon, really soon. I gotta get those on their way. So once I start working on the Monster, I've got the parts, right? I'm gonna add some tubes to that. I'm gonna get a set of 4. Get ODSP to pay for them. That way I've got them. And I'm not, because there was a point in time where I was getting a flat tire every day. Like there's like 3 or 4 days in a row I got a flat tire. I went through my whole entire inventory of tubes waiting to go. So if that happens now, there's no way I can afford to keep up with that. So I want to make sure I have some on hand. So I'm going to get a set of 4. And as it is right now, my back tires are worn down pretty good. I'm not worried about it right now, but once next winter comes, oh, sorry. I don't know how I managed to do that. Somehow pushed my thumb against the zoom button. So they're pretty worn down. So, that leaves me susceptible. But I don't want to get new tires until next fall, so I have them for winter. And I got fresh tread for the snow. So I got my green screen taken apart. It's opened up the cord like that. That took up so much space. And the hardest part was taking all the staples out. That took a while. And then I pulled all the screws out and just separated all the parts. That's the stand, the feet part of it, and the 2 uprights. So I got that taken care of. Snowblower's up on the shelf now. Got the Monster's parts over here. That's what I did yesterday. That's all I did yesterday. It took a lot of effort to take those stands apart. And that was pretty much my project for that day. So Monster's charging right now, but I'm gonna pull it forward here. I'm gonna start working on the bumper. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna cut anything here. I'm not gonna start taking this apart or anything. I've got liquid wrench on the screws, so hopefully it makes it. I can take that plastic part off without an issue. But what I am gonna do today is I'm going to cut the parts that I'm going to need. I'm probably not going to do any welding. It's already a little, I want to be up later in the day. I keep waking up like 5 or 6 in the morning, and then by afternoon I'm ready to go back to bed, and I don't want to do that because I'm out when it's cold and I can't do anything out here, right? So I wanted to go out later in the afternoon when it's warmer. So I took a sleep aid last night, and I woke up at 11 o'clock this morning. So, well, that's a good start. But I keep getting comments about why not just rebuild it. Well, there's 3 reasons for that. One, this 3-foot bar cost me $18. So it's a cost thing. All my money has to go into the Monster this month. I can't spend anything unnecessarily, I guess you could say. And to rebuild all this, it'll be more work. I don't have the energy to do it right now. So it's going to be more work. It's going to be a higher cost because I'm going to need more than just this one bar. And it's going to be a lot of more work. I think I said that already. More time. There we go. It'll take more time that I can be devoting to other things that need to be done with the Monster. So all I'm going to do is just replace the worst of the rusty parts. Up here, there's no stress on this anyway, so even if these do rot through, it's not going to matter. But I'm going to go from probably right about here down, across, and up. And that's all I'm going to do. It's just, I'm not even sure if ODSP would pay for a new bumper. I could just replace the whole bumper and be done with it, right? And I don't know what the other end of this looks like, where it hooks onto the Monster. I'm not sure, how much. Obviously I have to replace these 2 supports, that go underneath the front of the Monster, which is these parts right here. So what it looks like under there, because they're really short. Like that's the end of them right there. And then it goes straight up where it attaches. So, I got to replace those 2 as well. And hopefully, the plate on the back, it was fairly thick steel. So, even if it's rusty, it shouldn't be an issue. But it's too much. Rebuilding the bumper itself is just going to be too much work, too much time, and an expense I just don't have right now, especially considering I spent $50 on tubes today. And I wanted to make something I could hang these on so that they're, it's kind of where they're out of the way. But I don't know. I don't know if we'll get to that. So I'm not sure, now that I'm ready to begin, I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to record, because I've said that before when I told you I was done with YouTube. Yeah, I'll still show my project videos, but it's not going to be full video, because it's just the amount of time it takes to set the cameras up and move them around as I'm moving around, and I'd love to use this camera because it's superior. It's paid for now, by the way. I made my final payment at the end of March. Well, I guess a couple days ago. No, beginning of March. Yeah, I have a hard drive I'm still paying for. This is paid for now, so I fully own this camera now. No more payments, yay! Last one at the beginning of this month. So, that's good news. I would love to use this camera because it works so nice for everything. But there's no microphone. I can't hook up an external microphone to it. It's built in only. And this thing picks up background noises. You can probably hear the kids across the street playing basketball. It picks up background noises better than it picks up my own voice. So, it's not going to be all that wonderful. Plus, with the lens being recessed inside and really hard to clean, I don't want to get dust all over it because it's I won't be able to keep it clean. So I have to use my old camera, my Ket car, the only one I have that actually works with an external microphone. And I have to, the autofocus really sucks on it, so I have to use manual focus it where I want, and then it never changed, right? So it's a lot of work, just getting everything set up and ready to go. Move it around and change the focus when I've moved it, remembering to change the focus after I've moved it, and it's just gonna be too much work. So I had said that I probably won't show everything, which I probably won't. I am going to try to show anything new that I do, something I haven't already shown. Like I'm not going to bother showing changing the tires, if I have a flat. I've shown that many times, unless there's something specific that's different than previous times. So that's pretty much what's going to be happening now. I'll show you the result. I'll show you what needs to be done or whatever. And then I'll show, maybe bits and pieces of how I've done things, and then I'll show you the end result, or just stuff like that. Like, I'll show something. I'm not just going to work on the monster over the next month and show it finished, right? I will show you some. And one thing I want to point out here, that I've discovered that I haven't talked about yet, and I didn't talk about it right away because I wanted to give it some time to make sure I'm right. Well, inside here, if you remember, I've had issues. If I turn fully to the right, or fully to the left, whichever one it was. Well, that's interesting. Everything's loosening up. But anyways, I think it was to the right. If I turned to the right, then the monster would go into error mode. And I couldn't figure, it's obviously a problem up front here. It's an electrical problem. I couldn't figure it out. But then somebody else asked me about it. They were having a similar issue. So I told them to take the front cover off, make sure all the plugs are tight, wiggle the wires around or whatever, and try it and see what happens before you put everything back together. And that solved the problem. That's the same problem I was having, right? So what I've noticed is I've mentioned this before, how there's only just enough wiring on here to reach where it's supposed to be. There's no excess whatsoever. It's so stupid the way they do it. So there's stress on all the wires. And basically what's happening is the plugs are together, but there's stress on them, pulling on them. So when I turn the monster, it's twisting the wire, which is putting stress on it, and it's actually separating the plugs inside, not to where you can see it, but you push the plug together and everything's fine again for a little while, and then it'll happen again. So what I did is I cut all the zip ties off the bottom to relieve that stress, and I haven't had that problem since. So that's what solved the problem, cutting off the zip ties that are holding the wires in place. See, that's one of the reasons why I said I want to completely rewire the monster, because there is zero excess. So everything is stressed. It's just, yeah. So one of the things I'm thinking of doing, if I have the energy, if I have the time, once I get everything important done, then I want to cut off all those plugs and just wire them directly. Because, like I said before, I'll never take it apart. I'll never be, taking the plugs apart to remove this or remove that or whatever. So I just like I've done with other plugs I've had issues with. I just cut the plugs off and just wire them directly. Solves the problem, right? The problems this machine has is so stupid. It's preventable, you know, if they just do things properly, but you know, same old, you know. I get tired of talking about the same things over and over, but that's what the issues are. You know, these stupid little things that cause bigger problems that just, it's so avoidable. So, anyway, before I get too comfortable here and decide I don't want to do anything, I'm going to start, and the only thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to cut these wires. That's it. And being as I'm only doing just a little bit, I will show you that. Get a sharper angle than that. I got smacked in the nose by a piece of steel. Oh man, that hurt. Right about there. Ow. So that's what we got. I'm not going to do anything with it today, but that's part, it's going to replace the bottom here. Yeah. It took me a while to get the angle right. I'm still not quite right where I wanted it, but broken fingernail. Not quite exactly where I wanted it, but it's close enough. I can fill the gap up. Oops, sorry. I can fill the gap up while I'm welding. Not a big deal. And then these parts will go up to here. And I'm going to weld this together first. And then once I get it done, I'll figure out where it is I got to cut. And then I'll just weld it onto what's already existing there. Oh my goodness. But see what I mean? I guess I'm exhausted just from doing that. And if I was to continue this and redo the whole entire bumper, it would take me days. So I'm only doing what I need to do. And hope that's good. But I didn't have any pain in my shoulders. I didn't have any pain in my arms. No pain in my neck. No pain in my back. No pain in my legs. So that's a good sign. Of course, I'm kneeling. I'm kneeling and I'm working straight down. I'm not extending my arms outwards to reach anything. So, but even still, that's a good sign. That's a good start. So what I considered doing today, I don't think I can afford to do it, but I want to see if I can get batteries specifically for this thing, the Fortress. Because a lot of, well, not a lot, but some of the things I'm going to be doing with the Monster, the batteries will have to be in it. You know, and it won't be drivable, and I hate switching the batteries back and forth because they're so friggin' heavy. So I considered see if I can get some cheap batteries just for this, just so I can drive this and have the Monster's batteries in there at the same time. But I went to Ideal Supply today. It's Easter weekend, but it's Saturday, so I thought maybe, you know, they might be open, and a whole lot of other things were open today. But they weren't. So I was pulling up, and normally when they're closed, they have their vehicles parked out front. And if I see that, I know they're not open. Well, the vehicles weren't there, so I thought, well, maybe they're open. And another car pulled in, turned around. I don't know if they thought the same thing. But I looked, and yeah, the store's in darkness. So I went around the block to park down on the floodplain there, the boat launch, and went around the corner. The two, wow, I'm having a hard time talking today. The two Ideal Supply vehicles were parked on the lawn at the liquor store. So I don't know if they're planning on cleaning their laneway out or what, but that's kind of an odd place to see them parked. So that explains why they weren't in the parking lot out front. Okay, so I'm done for today. I'm so weak now. Wow. But I got what I achieved my goal. The first angle I had to cut several times. Going by eye, it looks like it was right, but it wasn't. First one wasn't even close. And then I cut it a second time and finally got it. Oh, my nose still hurts. I'm probably going to have a mark there. That really hurt. Yeah. But anyway. The monsters projects for this year have begun.